Namaskar everyone, welcome to Astro Satvik. Today I will be sharing a very snapshot and one of my most favorite technique to time marriage. This technique can give you the timing of marriage within just 2 seconds. It won't take more than 2 seconds. And the most snapshot one. Okay, I have been using this technique since past 4 to 5 years. I was fortunate to learn this technique very earlier when I just started my journey of astrology. And whenever it comes to timing marriage, it is always my strong zone. Okay, like I've timed marriage to the exact date. I have predicted marriage to the exact date, and the marriage happened during that day itself. Okay, many of my clients, they are there who on whose chart I have timed the marriage to the exact date, even the date of getting the proposal. I've also timed it to the exact date. And yeah, no doubt I have failed also. And lot of charts I've failed badly. So it's just, see, at the end it's a consulting work, and in consulting work, whether it's the astrology, it's law, it's medical, okay, everywhere you can't be 100% right. All that matters is your ratio, good to bad, right to wrong. And if I have got some good success in timing marriage, I've also seen failures. So it's not like I'm flaunting my predictive skills. I will have to make this thing clear in very beginning of the video. But yeah, many people ask me how you time the exact date of marriage. See, that's a separate thing. But I'll tell you, for timing marriage, it's a several step method. Okay, it's not one step, it's several step. In very first step, you need to find the yoga for marriage, whether there is a yoga for marriage or not. Okay, now you have found the yoga. Now you need to check another yoga. What's the age group in which marriage will fall? It's the early age group, late age group, very late, or very early. For all these things, there are combinations. They are yogas. That's what I was telling in all my past videos, that please learn yogas, please focus on yogas. This is that yoga part. Are you getting it? Now, after you got that yoga part, now use Saturn's transit, because stays in a sign for 2.5 years to time that 2.5 year gap of marriage. Then use Jupiter's transit to time that 1 year gap of that marriage, because Jupiter stays in a sign for 1 year. Okay. Now you can use a transits of Sun, which stays in a sign for 1 month, also of Venus. Okay. And add it with use it with dashas, Vimshotri Dasha, Tribhagi Dasha, Kal Chakra Dasha, and with the BCP. And BCP used that method of timing, of calculating the date of the event. When you combine all these methods, from yogas to BCP to dashas to transits, you will get the date of marriage. And as I told, it takes lot of time. That's why whenever I do marriage consultations, takes time. And because, see, this is a very long process. But today I will be explaining you the key of this process, because, see, the key lies when this person will get married, that 2.5 year gap. If I can calculate a 2.5 year gap, I can narrow it down to the 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, and even to the date, using the shahs and BCP and all. But challenge is how to find it. First of all, the thing is the age group of marriage, that I told you, that comes from the yoga part. Also keep in mind, when it comes to marriage, always keep in mind the deshkal paristhiti. Like, always remember in which area person is born, which time. Like, earlier there used to be child marriages. Now we don't see child marriages. Okay, in Muslims they marry between the relations, but in Hindus it's not so. Yeah, in southern part they do marry between the relations, but in north it's strictly prohibited to marry. So all these things work along with deshkal paristhiti. Because of the changing time, everything changes, whether it's astrology, whether it's our laws, everything. So now, coming to the master technique of timing marriage. See, credit for this technique goes to Shri K. N. Rao Saab. Okay, he is the original researcher for this technique. He researched down this technique, and he shared this technique for the first time ever, because it is his technique. And he shared this technique in his book, Learn Successful Predictive Techniques of Astrology. Learn Successful Predictive Techniques of Astrology. This is a very brilliant book, and you must all buy it and read it, because in this book there is a chapter on timing of marriage. and that chapter deals with the yoga of marriage, which no one ever talks. Everyone says, look at seventh lord dasha, look at the D9 lord, seventh lord dasha, this and that, but no one talks about the yoga for marriage, whether there's a yoga or not, or if there is yoga, in which age group the marriage will fall, whether it will be an early marriage or late marriage or very late marriage. All your answers will be given in that article, okay, that chapter basically of that book. And I must tell you, this particular article was one of the best articles of Sri Ken Rao, and it was praised by Casey Saxena. Casey Saxena is the greatest Brihu astrologer ever born. Okay, greatest Brihu astrologer. So to get praise from Casey Saxena is a matter of great achievement. Even it was for the KN Rosa, because he was a great admirer of Casey Saxena. So just imagine Casey Saxena just praised that research work of Sri KN Rao, of that yoga of marriage, early marriage, late marriage, and that timing part. So please read that book. And from that book, I have taken this technique, which is most effective technique which you can use to time marriage. Now, what's the technique? The technique is, whenever in transit, whenever in transit, the transit Saturn, the transit Saturn will aspect the natal Dharakarka. Whenever in transit, the transit Saturn will aspect the natal Dharakarka. During that time, native will get married. Okay, do one thing, take your chart, use Lahari Yamsha, use the settings as prescribed by Sri KN Rao ji, 7 Charkarka scheme, okay, 7 Charkarka scheme and 365.25 days the year length he uses for Chardasha calculations, and use Arudha Padas without exceptions, because KN Rao ji don't follow exceptions for Arudha Padas. Because when you are following KN Rao, then just follow his system totally. And now mark the Dharakarka in your chart. DK, the planet with the lowest degree in the chart. Okay, the planet with lowest degree in the chart, mark that planet. Whenever in transit, the Saturn will give a Gemini aspect, a Rashi aspect, Gemini aspect, a Rashi aspect to this Dharakarka. During that time, person will get married, or that will the most probable period of marriage. Okay, use only Rashi aspects. Okay, use only Rashi aspects or Gemini aspects. And most important thing is, while using this technique, always remember that you always use the transit Saturn. Okay, now this technique has an accuracy of 70 to 80%, because none of the technique in astrology is 100% accurate. If it was so, then there must be only one book in astrology, one technique, and Rishi would have ended the Shastra there itself. Okay, this is a technique, and it will work in 100% cases. But no matter how much expert the person is, whoever the astrologer is, SK Mehta, KN Rao, RG Rao, none of the astrologers have ever given out, or even the rishis have ever given out a 100% accurate technique. So accuracy of this technique is around 70 to 80%, which is a very big deal, because 70 to 80% is not achievable very easily. Very rare techniques have that much of accuracy. And there are few exceptions also. See, it's not always necessary that only during this transit, but Ken Raji also had added one condition, that it may happen soon after this uh, transit the person get married. Like suppose your Dharakarka is Venus, and Venus is in Taurus Rashi, okay, and the Saturn in transit is aspecting the Taurus Rashi. So it may happen that you may not get married during that time, but soon in the next transit of Saturn, you may get married. Because the reason is, see, Dharakarka rules marriage in Gemini astrology, and it rules the spouse. Saturn gives maturity, Saturn gives that age to get married. Because Saturn is the Karma Karka, its role is to deliver the results, to deliver the karma. So this transit of Saturn, this aspect of Saturn on Dharakarka can give marriage, okay, or soon after this aspect there can be marriage. And there is one exception also, which works in few cases, that if Saturn is transiting in seventh house, if Saturn is transiting in the seventh house of the horoscope and it is aspecting the Dharakarka, then it may not happen. Okay, then the event might not happen, because the logic might be, because see, seventh house is the marriage, Saturn also causes delays. So transit of Saturn into seventh house may cause some delays. That may be the logic. But K. N. Rao wrote, okay, transit of Saturn into the seventh house, and during transit, if it is respecting the Darakarka, it may happen that marriage is not taking place, and that's a valid thing. Okay, this is an exception. Always keep these things in mind. And now let's come to the examples. Before examples, I'm sharing this slide. For example charts, I'm sharing this image of which shows the Gemini aspects. Okay, if you don't know about Gemini aspects, then you can learn it from here, because Gemini aspects are the Rashi aspects of the planet. And I have taken this from the book of Rangacharya ji, A Manual of Gemini Astrology, which is again one of the best books written on Gemini astrology. One of the best books. Okay, if I have to rate the best book ever written on Gemini astrology, it will be A Manual of Gemini Astrology by Sri Iranti Rangacharya ji. So I have taken this from that book. Now I hope you all can read it well. Now let's directly come to the examples. Example is of Queen Elizabeth, and in this example, as you can see, her Dharakarka, the planet with lowest degree is Saturn, which is at 1 degree. And the date of her marriage is 20th November 1947. And on 20th November 1947, the transit Saturn was in Cancer Rashi. And through Cancer Rashi, it was giving a Rashi aspect to the natal Dharakarka or to the natal Saturn, which is the Dharakarka in this chart. Okay, so it's very clear. Transit Saturn in Cancer giving a Rashi aspect to Scorpio, where there is a natal Dharakarka, and she got married during this time. Now let's come to the next chart. This is the chart of Queen Victoria. See, I'm just taking those charts which have a very high accuracy of birth time, and because see, in royal family all the birth times noted are very accurate. There is no scope of error. Also, other charts I've taken in this video are all right charts. Okay, with rectified birth time AA rating. So there is no doubt about birth time and all. Now Queen Victoria, her marriage took place on 10th February 1840. Okay, the marriage was on 10th February 1840. Venus in her chart is the Dharakarka, which is lowest degree. It's in 5 degrees, as you can clearly see. Now, during the date of her marriage, during the time of her marriage, the Saturn in transit was in Scorpio Rashi. And through Scorpio Rashi, it was giving a Rashi or the Gemini aspect to the natal Venus, which is the Dharakarka in this chart. So again, the condition is fulfilled. The transit Saturn in Scorpio giving a Gemini Rashi aspect to Dharakarka, Venus. Now let's come to the next chart. It is of Sri C.S. Patel ji, the Bhishma Pitamaha of astrology, as we all know. So C.S. Patel ji, in his chart, the Dharakarka, the planet with lowest degree is Mars in 7 degrees. Okay, and his date of marriage is 28th May 1933. On 28th May 1933, he got married. And during that time, the transit Saturn was in Capricorn. And through Capricorn, this transit Saturn was aspecting Dharakarka, Mars in Leo Rashi. So again, the condition is fulfilled. But see, according to KN Raji, the transit Saturn in 7th house aspecting Dharakarka may not give marriage. This was exception he took in his book. But in this case of Sri C.S. Patel ji, it is getting verified. So as I told, this technique is having very high accuracy of 80%. Like 80% of charts within 2 seconds you can predict it. But you must know the age group of marriage, which you can only learn from his book. So firstly refer to that age group, then only come to this timing method, because timing method only comes into play when there is yoga. Okay. So as you can see in this chart of Sri C.S. Patel, again it's verified the Dharakarka Mars in 7 degree Leo was getting aspected by transit Saturn in Capricorn on his date of marriage. Now let's come to the next chart of Sri Mahatma Gandhi. Now in the chart of Mahatma Gandhi, see, Dharakarka planet with the lowest degree is Mercury with 11 degrees in Libra Rashi. In Libra Rashi, it's in 11 degree. His marriage took place on May 1883. May 1883, he got married. And the transit Saturn was in Taurus. And through Taurus, it was giving a Rashi aspect to Dharakarka, Mercury. Again, the condition is fulfilled. So you can see how beautifully the technique is working. Okay. The Darakarka's Mercury 8083 is the marriage date. During that time, transit Saturn was in Taurus, respecting Darakarka. Interesting thing is, Mahatma Gandhi got married at the young age of 13. Now, it's a very early marriage. Yeah, according to Deshkal Paristhiti, it was a very normal thing. But still, it was a early marriage. His chart now shows the combinations of early marriage as taught by Shri K.N. Raoji. K.N. Raoji is clearly written benefics in 1-7 houses. Okay, benefics in 1-7 houses, and a strong Venus gives a very early marriage. Very early marriage. So you can clearly see Venus in Mool Trikona sign in Lagna with a benefic Mercury and a benefic Jupiter placed in the 7th house of marriage, aspecting Lagna. Okay, you can clearly see the benefic combinations in his chart. And as per K.N. Raoji, in his grouping, when he wrote about early marriage combinations, he clearly wrote benefic planets in 1-7 houses or very strong natural benefics, especially Venus, Jupiter, gives a very early marriage and conditions totally fulfilled. So see how beautifully the yoga is working. He has a yoga for early marriage as taught by Shri K.N. Raoji, and during the transit he got married. And one more technique which can verify this is, I recently made a video on Lomas Samhita degree methodology, how to predict using degrees, how to predict the exact date of event using degrees, how to do BTR till D60 using degrees. Okay, how to use these degrees of planets and Lagna to predict different events, to predict the result of yoga, to predict when the yoga will get fruitified, when the yoga will give results, to make a complete system of prediction from the degrees. And this technique was of Sri Sunil John sir of Saptarishi Astrology. The technique was Lomas Samhita degree methodology, and I have made a video with Hemraj sir of Eklavya Astrology, and I have shared that video on his channel. You can watch it. Also, I have written an article on my channel too and on my Facebook too, so you can refer to that article. And those who have read that article, they might be knowing that I stressed a lot on Lagan degree. Whatever the Lagan degree at that particular age, that Lagna will get activated and will give the results of the yoga as promised in the chart. Now this is the chart of Mahatma Gandhi. With the time I'm using, okay, with that time I'm getting his Lagna degree as 14 degrees. So 14 degree means exactly in his 14th year running, the Lagna will get activated. The Lagna first house will get activated. And what result it will give? It will give the result of the yoga. What's the yoga? There is a Libra sign. Libra sign shows relationships. Venus, the karka of relationship and marriage, is sitting there. Mars, the seventh lord of marriage, is sitting there. Okay. So this Mercury, Mars, Venus yoga showing marriage is in the Lagna, indicating there can be a relationship, there can be a marriage, especially during that time. According to Deshkal Paristhiti, the child marriage was a very normal thing. Also expected by Jupiter. Many take Jupiter for marriage because marriage is a religious ceremony, and for religious ceremony we take Jupiter. So the Lagna is clearly showing the event of marriage or relationship or some religious ceremony. Exactly when he was 13 years old, Mahatma Gandhi, in his 14th running year, he got married. So this clearly shows the Lagan degree I am taking is right. The Lagan degree I am using is right. And if Lagan degree is 14, automatically the D9, D60 gets rectified. So this is the best technique or the master technique for birth time rectification. And if you have not watched my video, then please go to that video. It's there in the Eklavya Astrology channel, okay? And I have given out lot of example charts to explain that technique. Lot of example charts. So you can refer to that. Now coming to next chart, it's of Indira Gandhi ji, and in case of Shri Indira Gandhi, you can clearly see the Dharakarka planet with the lowest degree is Sun, Surya, 4 degree in Scorpio Rashi, in Vrishchik Rashi. And during the time of her marriage, okay, during the time of the marriage, the transit Saturn was in Aries, aspecting the natal Dharakarka. Okay, now I have not written the date of marriage here. Wait a second. Let me confirm the date of marriage of Shri Indira Gandhi. I think I have skipped it by mistake, so I need to add it. See, the Indira Gandhi ji got married on 26th March 1942. Okay, Indira Gandhi got married on 26th March 1942. And on 26th March 1942, you can check the transit of Saturn was in Aries Rashi, and her Dharakarka is the Sun in 4 degree Scorpio, and through Rashi aspect, the Saturn in Aries aspects the Sun in Scorpio. So again, the condition of Dharakarka getting aspected by transit Saturn is getting verified. Let's come to the next chart, which is of Sri Rajiv Gandhi. In the chart of Sri Rajiv Gandhi, as you can see, the Dharakarka planet is Mars in 1 degree in Virgo Rashi. And on 25th February 1968, he got married. 25th February 1968, he got married, and during the marriage, the transit Saturn was in Pisces Rashi. And from the Pisces, as we all know, the Saturn will give a Rashi or a Gemini aspect to the Mars or the Dharakarka planet, which is placed in Virgo Rashi. Okay. Now let's come to the next chart of Sri Harivansh Rai Bachchan, the father of Amitabh Bachchan. In his chart, as you can see, the Mars is the Dharakarka planet. Okay, which is at 5 degree in Aquarius Rashi. And 5 degree Aquarius, you can clearly see there is the Mars, which is the Dharakarka planet. His first marriage took place in 1926, and the Saturn had just moved out of Libra. Okay, he had just entered Scorpio. It was in the initial degrees of Scorpio. So if you take, as I told you, if you take Saturn in Libra, then Saturn in Libra will give a Rashi or a Gemini aspect to Aquarius, where there is the Dharakarka planet, and the condition is fulfilled. As I told you in the very beginning itself, that it can happen that after the transit, soon after the transit, in the next transit, you get married. So in case of Harivansh Rai Bachchan, during his first marriage, the Saturn was in Libra, but during he got when he got married, it had just entered in Scorpio, in the initial degrees of Scorpio, and he got married. And similar was the case in case of Indira Gandhi, I think. As in case of Indira Gandhi, on 26th March 1942, Saturn was in Taurus Rashi. Saturn was in Taurus Rashi, but the Saturn had just moved to Taurus. The Saturn had just moved to Taurus. So before that, it was in Aries Rashi. So from Aries, the Saturn gave a Rashi or a Gemini aspect to the natal Dharakarka planet, which is Sun, which is placed in a Scorpio Rashi. So again, this is verified in her chart also. As I told, it can happen this way also. Now let's come to the next or the last chart. Okay, before discussing the last chart, yes, let's discuss his second marriage also. Harivansh Rai Bachchan had a second marriage in the year 1941, and in the year 1941, the transit Saturn was in Aries. Now, as we all know, the transit Saturn in Aries will aspect the natal Dharakarka planet Mars in Aquarius Rashi by Gemini aspect. So he got married second time again during this transit also. This is a perfect chart for two marriages. Okay, this chart clearly shows that how even during the second marriage also the condition is verified. The marriage took place on 1941, and during that time the transit Saturn was in Aries, aspecting the Dharakarka Mars in Aquarius Rashi by Gemini aspect. Now let's come to the last chart of Shri Amitabh Bachchan. And in case of Shri Amitabh Bachchan, as you can see, the Dharakarka planet is Jupiter, which is exalted in the sixth house in the 0 degree. And this Jupiter in 0 degree, exalted in the sixth house, it is Dharakarka, and he got married on 3rd June 1973. On 3rd June 1973, he got married. And during that time, during his marriage, the Saturn was in Taurus, the transit Saturn was in Taurus, and through Taurus Rashi, it was aspecting Jupiter, which is Dharakarka, placed in Cancer Rashi. Okay, you can clearly see during his date of marriage, the transit Saturn was in Taurus, and from the Taurus, it was aspecting the Jupiter, which is Dharakarka planet, placed in Cancer Rashi. So this was all the examples I had. Okay, and I hope you got a good understanding. It was very difficult for me to make this video because I am recording this video from my mobile phone, so making these slides, adding the text to it, it is very difficult, and uh, it may happen I have made some mistakes somewhere. Like in the case of Indira Gandhi, I skipped that marriage date, 26th March 1942. So I'm sorry for it, and I hope you have liked the video. And if you have liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe.